Rudy stood in front of Cana with a frown. "Sorry to interrupt your nap. Perhaps you can help the class with a question," he said. The boy sat up. He ran a hand through his dark locks, then shrugged. A lazy smile curved his mouth. "I'll do my best," he replied, then yawned wide. "Can you tell us the starting point of the preaching work Jesus and his disciples did?" Cana crossed his arms. Well, they lived in the Middle East, so I would gather that is where the preaching work started. What does it matter now? This was a work that was finished over 100 years ago. An exasperated sigh came from Wendell's corner of the classroom. Rudy paced the piece of wooden floor in front of the children's desks. Yes, true. The worldwide preaching work was done for a long period of time, and it came to an eventual end. But the importance of this grand work should never be underappreciated. It is the reason that all of us are here in this classroom. Thank goodness our parents heeded that message. Cana's shoulders came up again. The focus for this time, though, is cleaning and rebuilding the earth after God's war. The past is done, gone. He blew over the palm of his hand as if he held dusk. His boldness elicited an audible gasp from the other children. A pleased, cat-like smile stretched across his exquisite face at the reaction. Rudy felt his chest go tight and his breath caught in his lungs. Goodness, this boy was impossible. Maybe it would have been better to let him doze. He turned on his heel and walked towards the opposite end of the room where the window showed stark gray skies and smoke-colored clouds. Cold wind razored through naked tree limbs and scratched the window pane. One ragged yellow leaf with brown spots clung to the wet pane. Despite the austerity of the weather, the scene was a salve to his irritation and slowed the beat of his heart. Rudy inhaled and let his breath out slow. This simple act eased the grip of his chest and enabled him to face his students again. He clasped his hands behind his back and lectured while pacing the area in front of their desks. Yes, that time has come and gone, and there will be a time when the work our society is engaged in will be a thing of the past. No epoch lasts indefinitely, but each point in history stands on the shoulders of the one below it. We are all the result, or maybe the consequence, of the past. So, Cana, yes, that moment and that preaching work was of greatest importance. Perhaps we should let the one student in this room give the answer to my question. Wendell, please tell your classmates when and where did the preaching work of Jesus' time start? Wendell stood up by his desk. He read from a crumpled piece of paper in his trembling hand. The beginning of Jesus' ministry began after his baptism in the Jordan. He preached in and around Galilee, where he attracted his first disciples. In the old scriptures, in the book of Mark, I believe. Wait, one moment. Let me find it. The paper in his hand dropped to the floor. He grasped an old, worn copy of the Bible from his desk. The book had nearly every other word underlined or highlighted in yellow, pink, or green. He pushed its thin, tissue-like pages until he found the words he needed. Here it is, in the first chapter of Mark. It says, "While walking alongside the Sea of Galilee, he saw Simon and Simon's brother Andrew casting their nets into the sea, for they were fishermen. So Jesus said to them, 'Come after me, and I will make you fishers of men.' And at once they abandoned their nets and followed him." Wendell looked up from his reading and continued explaining. Confidence grew in him like a young sapling tree putting down roots. His voice lowered and came out stronger. He pulled himself up to a straighter stance, which gave him command of the room. The children turned their attention towards his seat in the back of the classroom. Even Cana grudgingly turned his head. This account in Mark explains that soon after recruiting Simon and Andrew, Jesus came upon some fishermen, James the son of Zebedee and his brother John, while they were mending their fishing nets. These two joined Jesus and the other two disciples without hesitation. They even left their father in the boat. From here they went to Capernaum, where Jesus began teaching in the synagogue. So the more concise answer to your question is, the very beginnings of the preaching work started in Galilee. Simon and his brother were the first two disciples of Jesus, and then James and his brother John. Rudy grinned white at his student, impressed at his deeper knowledge of the scripture. Wendell glowed with satisfaction and sank to his seat. Very well done. You have obviously taken the last 3 weeks to heart and made a diligent study of the scriptures. So now, for the rest of you children of paradise, take out your notebooks. We are going to discuss the time frame of Jesus' ministry.